Hello and welcome to all in this video lectures series on C programming. We are discussing a concept of arrays. In previous video session, we have seen what is a need of an array. Why to use this array there, right? So let us recall the same example. Suppose we want to create a student's database, and in this student's database, if say I'm going to store only the serial number of a student. When I'm dealing with only one student, simple, I'm going to declare int x1 as my variable, which is going to hold the serial number for one student. Suppose I'm dealing with 5 different students, then integer x1, x2, x3, x4 and x5. In short, to handle this 5 different students serial number, I am supposed to declare this 5 different variables. Okay. Now, when the data is limited, no problem, I can declare this variable and directly I can assign a value to it. But consider a situation where I am dealing with a huge amount of data. For example, if I want to store the serial number of 100 different students, right? Then how we are going to, or how we are supposed to proceed for this? The int x1, x2 up to x100, right? So theoretically speaking, it's fine. Even during say dealing with what we call the writing a program, I can declare these variables, right? So when we are talking about the declaration and declaration of this variable and all these things, it seems to be like a simple one. That means simple, declare the 100 different variables. But practically when I'm going to implement it, it look like a tedious job. Tedious job in the sense just write each and every variable and assign a value. So instead of this, when I'm dealing with a multiple variables having same data type, the same I can write specifically for this simple integer x of 100. So this declaration becomes very simple. And what will happen? So x of 0 is the first variable, x of 1 is the second variable, x of 2 is the third variable. In this way, the last variable is what? X of 99. So in this way, automatically within this say simplified declaration, all the 100 variables are get automatically initialized. Right. So it is say theoretically as well as practically seems to be simple as compared to the this approach. Now the important thing, say I'm going to declare this int x, int this x and int this x here, right? Everywhere x is common, your data type is common, but what is the meaning of each and every declaration is totally different. As we have declared only integer x, this x is considered as a variable. As the x is defined along with simple brackets, so simple bracket represent what? X is simple one function, and whenever the variable is followed with a square bracket, it is considered as what? Simple one array, right? And what is array? Array is basically collection of data elements having same data type. Right. So what it indicates? Simple. The moment at which I am going to declare int x of say 5, no doubt total 5 elements are there with me, and all these elements are having data type as a integer. Suppose I am going to declare float of y, say float y of 5. What it indicate? Y is an array which is going to hold the 5 different values, and all these values are what? These are basically the floating point values. If I am going to declare say character a of 5, what it indicate? Total I am going to hold 5 different characters. Okay, so there is no any number or no any floating point value. So again, just what is an array? Array is basically a collection of data elements having the same data type. It's not like that. One value is 1, second is 1.2 and third is a. We can't say this as an array. Why? Because the data type of 1 is different, 1.2 is different and a is different. We can say this as an array. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 like this, because all these values are what? Integer, or 1.0, 1.2, 1.23. These are what? The floating point values. Or say A, B, C. These are what? Simple my character. These all are what? Array, but this is not an array. Right? And what is its syntax? Simple return type. name of array and size, like integer x of 5, float y of 5, and character 0 of 5. So in first, x is an array which is going to hold the 5 elements and all are having the data type as an integer. In second, y is an array which is going to hold the 5 different values and the data type for all is a float. And in third, z is an array which is going to hold the 5 different characters. Right? So this is about some basics of the array. So in this video, we are now going to talk about some programming, the processing of the array. Let us consider this program to count even and odd numbers in array. Again, here we are going to consider that we are having total 5 elements, right? And from these 5 elements, we have to count even and odd numbers which are present in an array. The logic is simple and straightforward. The first step, what we have to do, just declare array, right? Say x of 5, I am going to say here. So what will be my elements then? The first element will be at x of 0, second element is at x of 1, third element is at x of 2, fourth element x of 3, and the last element will be at x of 4. A simple and straightforward. Then I am going to declare, say, variables. So one variable is going to work as index. It is going to keep the track of these specific what we call as subscripts of your array. The second one is going to give us an idea about total number of even numbers, and the third variable is going to give us an idea about total number of odd, say, the numbers which are present or the count associated with the odd number present in an array. Then just call each of these array element one by one using for loop, right? Then using loop control statement, just call individual element of array and just divide it by 2 and check the remainder. If the remainder value is 0, then increase the even count by 1, and if it is not equal to 0, simple increase the odd count by 5. This is a simple and straightforward logic that we are going to implement to count the even and odd number that are present in an array. Okay, so let us cross check that with a simple execution. Here is the code to find the count of total number of even and odd elements which are present in array. So the first array that I am going to declare here is x of 5, right? A variable even which is going to give us the idea about total number or the count associated with the even elements present in an array, or gives us the odd or the count associated with the odd numbers which are present in an array, right? And the I deals with an index. So this first for loop, with the help of the first for loop, I am going to access an element inside the array, and then simple using this second for loop, whatever the array elements that we taken, that we are going to display. Now here using this for loop control statement and decision control statement, that is if decision control statement, I am going to find out the count associated with the even and odd elements, right? So initially first I is equal to 0 means what? X of 0, first the x of 0 element I am going to divide it by 2. If its remainder value is equal to 0, then the count, the even variable or the count associated with the even number, that get incremented by 1. And if it is not divisible by 2, then simple the odd variable value is incremented by 1. So let us first cross check this. So first element, say 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So at this instant we know that total 2 even numbers are there with me and 3 odd numbers are with me. So when I am going to run this, simple even element 2 and odd element 3, right? So let us cross check this with stepwise execution. Now first element 1, just check out here, right? So the first element that I entered here is 1. The second element I will enter here as 2, right? Then third element 3, fourth element 6, four, and the last element is I'm going to enter as 5, right? So 1 2 3 4 5, these are the elements that I have entered. So if I check out here, 1 2 3 4 5, these are what my simple array element. Then I'm dealing with this displaying all the values on the output screen, right? So no doubt whatever these numbers are there, right, entered number are now present on my output screen. Okay, now I'm going to divide. I'm going to check whether it is divisible by 2. So now e1 is equal to 0, odd is equal to 0, means by default I'm going to set both variable to 0. And now check out, right? So the first element 1 mod of 2, whether it is equal to 0, no, right? So as not equal to 0, the count associated with the odd variable get incremented by 1. Now 2, right? Then for 3, now for 4, now, right? So in this way the count, the even number are 2 and the odd numbers are 3. So in this way we have displayed the final result on the output screen, right? So here in this program what we did, simple, we took one array and each array element we divided it by 2. If it is perfectly divisible by 2, then we are going to say this is a even and the count associated with the even number get incremented by 1. And if it is not divisible by 2, then the count associated with odd number is get incremented by 1. So in this way we did the process.